But let's get our neck deep into the papers now. The Guardian is where we're starting off from. The Guardian newspaper leads this morning. But hey, we're not going to be doing this alone. We're joined by Mr. Ifetayo, who's going to be helping us review the dailies this morning. He joins us virtually on the show this morning. Good morning and welcome to the morning brief, Mr. Dini Ifetayo. All right, so let's get started with the Guardian newspaper. And this is what we find on the front page. I am really interested in the cartoon, first off. That cartoon is quite descriptive of the situation in Lagos State. So let me explain what you're seeing there. You see the Speaker of the State Assembly, Miranda, on the seat, the speakership seat. And you see behind him, a former speaker, impeached Speaker, Mudashiru Obasa, obviously looking not happy. But there's this hand trying to shake off Miranda from that seat.
So, who owns that hand?
Whose hand is that? It's in black. So, Mr. Ifetayo, do you see that hand? Who do you suspect has that hand, Mr. Ifetayo?
Well, anyway, sometimes these are our cartoonists. We need to give it to them the way they depict a situation going on. So that hand, it should be the top forces who has interest in that particular seat. But thank God for the members of the assembly who have shown their loyalty and support for situation. You know, sometimes in Yoruba land, they said that there are some certain things that you be doing, people will be clapping for you. If you get to a point you want to do it, they will chase you out there because they are not happy. And most times, let us allow people to have their way. And you can't continue to do the same thing and expect different results. And the only thing that is constant is change. So they should just let the House of Assembly be. Thank God that there was no bloodshed, despite the security tried to storm the assembly. But let's see how it plays out. It has come to stay, and the members of the National Assembly, they are in support of Miranda. And let us are peaceful and let the governors continue.
I see. Well, that'll be the State Assembly in this case. And that's the big story. Lagos Assembly crisis worsens, reveals deeper cracks in state's power dynamics. So in all of this mix, you have, of course, the president, former governor, Bola Tinubu. You have the governor of the state as well also put in the mix. You have the GAC. You have all of the other political stakeholders. Now we come to the State Assembly members and the rest. So everybody's trying to figure out who is on whose side, who is responsible for what. More importantly, people are asking, what is the president saying? Do you think the president should say anything about this?
Yes, particularly because he's from that state, and I don't know how to interpret the Yoruba will say that in Latin expression that charity begins at home. If you want to show that you want to bring the nation together, at least let it show from where you come from, which is Lagos State. I think you should call the actors together, call maybe the Obasa side, the GAC side, and the State Assembly side. What do you want? And let peace reign. Let's move on. We don't need this at this time of our nation when we are going through a lot, and why the Assembly cannot put their house. Let me say they put their house in order, but there are some third forces who does not want the status quo to remain. So right. I think Mr. President should call them to order. Yes.
Well, the president has been busy attending the AU meetings. He's back in the country now, so maybe or maybe not. Let's move on to
anywhere president is, the power is there, so you can make call anywhere.
There you go.
You can set up a meeting anywhere, yeah.
You know what, Mr. Ifetayo, unseen forces reminds me of a particular expression in the early 2000s during the trial of the suspect for the murder of former Minister of Power, Chief Bola Ige. Unexpected forces from unexpected quarters. We hope that this mystery will be unveiled. But let's head out now to the Blueprint newspapers this morning, which is also focusing on the big story from yesterday. And this is how it is captioned: as an aftermath of appeal court judgment, violence erupts in Osun. Ex-council chair, 4 others killed. And then you find the riders providing more insight, apparently a trail on our conversations with the party chiefs yesterday. That's the National Secretary of the APC and the Commissioner for Information. Listen to them. PDP APC lay claim to LG's. Reps caucus seeks Tinubu's intervention. APC alleges SSG-led attack. Adeleke PDP fault claim. And the last of the rider says, we'll deal with culprits, police. You'll find all of the details on page 6. But it's that last rider that catches my interest this morning, Mr. Ifetayo, particularly as the party chief spoke yesterday on our own station. You wonder, where were police officials throughout the mayhem, that saw people killed, that saw bloodshed? As some of the officials spoke yesterday, they actually said some people were mauled. So what happened to the police?
If you are conversant with what is going on in Osun State, I think about 3 days ago, the governor gave an hint that there are some, I don't want to mention name, that they are trying to lay mayhem on the state. I think as a chief security officer of a state, that statement shouldn't be taken lightly, and I think the police should have been proactive. But this time around, sometimes if somebody will call and say, Mr. President said, or Mr. Governor said, those are the things that have been. We don't have chain of, how will I put it, chain of hierarchy, so to say, who is in charge of this, who can say this, who can say that. But it's just a pity that it has to come to this, and police, there have been negligence in this situation. We are talking about life, it's not even chicken, for people, and they are not doing anything. I'm sure call will have been made. All these things should be investigated, and whoever that is found culpable should be dealt with the wrath of law. That's what I believe. But police, they have not done a good job at all.
All right. There's a lot also. In fact, when I look at the Osun incident, I don't know whether their Lord justices and judges have to be writing judgment in plain English as clear as crystal, because it's interpretation that brought this chaos in the first place as to what that judgment means, whether it's enforceable, whether it is an academic exercise, everybody with their counsel trying to decide what exactly this means, and it's very confusing. We have brilliant lawyers, so when we see this, it's very disturbing as a nation. But moving on to the Nigerian Tribune, of course, it's leading with our headline, the chaos in Lagos Assembly, DSS invasion of assembly premises, entering of chamber sparks outrage. Lawmakers, assembly workers, indigents stormed assembly, scuffle with security personnel. Leaked memo shows DSS was invited over need to enhance security measures. Miranda gains support. Shed tears amid confidence vote by 36 lawmakers. But if we move just beneath that, we have the other story. We've talked a lot about Lagos, and we're going to continue talking about it. Power outage, UCH resident doctors threaten indefinite strike. I would like you to speak to that, Mr. Ifetayo.
Yeah, we are in the advent of technology, solar power, wind power, gas turbine, etc., etc. I think it is high time some of these big institutions, especially when it comes to an institution that is concerned about saving life, and making sure that the nation is healthy. I think it is high time the government, whether at the federal level or at the state level, to go into partnership, private partnership that, supply, independent power supply, that they can, be established. That these people, they are very crucial. Every minute counts. Can you imagine that in an hospital when they said there's no oxygen, or we are running out of, there's no light and all of that. And this thing is very crucial to life. A minute or 2 minutes or 30 seconds, whatever you do, can decide whether somebody will live or not. So it is high time that government should pay more attention to our health sector, declare an emergency. There's nothing that is too big in that. It's not a rocket science to say, oh, with these people, they need life. We have been talking about these issues since ages past. I think if this government are serious, this is high time they need to do that. At least the rich, the influential, they can afford to travel abroad and seek medical tourism. But if you say you want to make our nation great and better, this is one of the institutions that we need to give them 100% support when it comes to power supply.
There you go. This Nigeria, quickly as we wind down, Mr. Fetayo, leads with, of course, the chaos in the Lagos State Assembly. There's also the Osun story. But at the top right corner of the front page of this Nigeria, you see a statement from Nigeria's Minister of Finance, says Nigeria can no longer afford to be overly dependent on oil revenues. He was speaking at an event about the Treasury. I think he was... just to be clear, what that event is for Nigerians in a way he was speaking. Yes, the National Treasury Workshop that was holding in Abuja, and it was represented. But we've talked about this for too long, how we need to move away from crude oil, but decades after, it's still crude oil, #1 spot. But he says we're trying to explore non-oil areas like agriculture and the rest. Does it look like this government is serious? Because we've seen other governments from the Obasanjo era, diversification, we've been hearing that. So does it look like this government is serious about that?
We should lead by example. If you are serious as a leader, you lead by example. Saying, just like you said, we've been saying this is Obasanjo diversification. There was a time they said, oh, agri is the in thing. Now the solar, the tech, those are the channels that they can explore. And especially our tourism potential. I had the opportunity to visit Estonia. They're about 500,000 in that small country, but guess what? Over, I think they said 20 million people visit every year because of their tourism potential. You know, if you don't develop it, people will not patronize you. I think it's high time we need to look away and come to think of it. When they started the agri, because of that, I have a small farm. So let's see what he's doing. And in the last 3 years, I don't think I've patronized people selling cassava. So I think as an individual, as an household, at least over-independent on our oil cannot save us because of the rise and falling in forex, you know, and all of that, and the money going that way, despite the fact that we say we are not paying subsidy. So it's just like still, we are not ready yet. I'm not sure we are ready because over a decade past, we are still in the same situation. That because we are overly dependent on oil. They should look at other sectors. There's tourism there.
Yeah.
So many potential that we have. Tech is there. Nigerian, they are doing great stuff.
Yeah.
In fact, in Canada, if you start up a business, for example, there's a whole building. I don't know how many. Okay, that they just give you to start up just for you to balance it the next 2 years. So those are the things they can do to encourage young entrepreneurs. And
we really hope that we can put our money where our mouth is. You mentioned solid minerals, manufacturing, tourism, digital economy, and of course the creative industries. We've been speaking with Mr. Denny Fetayo, running through all of the dailies. Thank you so much for sharing your insights with us on the show today. I wish you a great day ahead. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So that's a look at the dailies, but we'll take a quick break now. And when we return, of course, the big stories are on the table. Stay with us right here. We'll be right back.